to the Heart and Home Podcast, episode 3. I'm
Welcome
Gloria Tan.
back.
I'm Gloria Tan, and we have.
Well, Taufik here says, who else could it be?
Yeah, it's always the both of us. Okay, so today for episode 3, we are going to talk about the guidebook to parenting pitfalls.
So we're going to unpack the book.
Yes, we're going to unpack. We start off with chapter 1, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay, so in chapter 1, it's understanding the developing brain.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
Why is it important for parents to understand the child's developing brain? Let's start there first.
Oh, actually, Gloria, this question
Yes.
would actually take about 2.5 hours. But
Ah,
I'm going to try my best to answer it.
I don't know if our SD card enough or not. I don't know.
It should be enough. I check. So, in terms of the developing brain, right? Have you seen like certain behaviors in children where you just cannot explain? You just like, why is my child like this? Or like maybe you have seen like maybe on the train or in the shopping centers when a child has a meltdown,
Yes, meltdowns.
and then you see the parent just like either lost or trying to grab the child, move away to a quieter space so that they don't embarrass themselves.
Or the third one, where the child has a meltdown and the parent has a meltdown and screams at the child, and then it just goes.
So and that's what I call an escalation lah.
Yes.
So it is important to understand the developing brain, because at each point of time whereby like between 0 to 2, 3 to 5, then 5 to 7, the brain develops differently.
Okay.
So meaning with age, there's an improvement in terms of cognitive processes. Meaning cognitive processes is such a big word, right? Let me just break it down a little bit more. Okay, so there's a development in terms of how the brain works, how the brain functions, what it does, and at the same time also what it controls and what it doesn't control. So let me just ask you just an interesting question, because you asked me in terms of why is it important to understand
Yes.
the child's brain development. At what age do you think roughly, estimate, okay, does the brain fully develop?
For women, it's different from men, right?
Yeah.
So from women, it should be,
Yeah.
if my memory serves me right from what
Yes.
I've learned, should be about 23 to 24. That's when the prefrontal cortex fully develops for
Wow,
women.
I
And for
love
men,
the terminologies that you're using. So
and
which one first, male or female?
for female, should be about 23 to 24, and for
Yeah.
male, should be about 25 to 26, if I'm not
Okay.
wrong.
You are right.
Oh, okay. Yay, don't need to go back to school again.
So at certain age, different ages, the brain develops differently. And for fully functional adult brain, for women, it develops about 23 to 24. For male, about 24 to 25. So why is this important? Okay, we always heard of this old age analogy, or like they always say, girls mature faster.
Yeah.
Does this make sense now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the same time also, at certain ages, it takes the brain development is different. So let's start with 0 to 2 or 3 years old. What do you think happens at 0 to 3 years old? What are the things that the child does? Basically, cry, and when they cry, it's a cry for help, hungry. Anything else? Cry, hungry. Anything else? Hangry.
Hangry, yeah. I think that one throughout the
Or
whole
diaper.
life.
Or they need a change of diaper, or they need some attention, right?
Yeah.
And then from that's 0 to 3, then 3 to 5, what else happens to the brain? That's where they start to pick up words. They start their language abilities improve. They are able to have small little conversations with you. They pick up behaviors, they pick up habits, they pick up certain parts of, they start to form a little bit of their own personality,
Mm.
right? And then what happens next when they are 5 to 7? At which age is that? They start to going to kindergarten,
Yeah.
correct? So that's where they start to learn in terms of their cognitive abilities, their thinking skills, their communication skills, their social skills, right? But and then they move on to primary school, 7 to 13. That's where
Mm.
their cognitive abilities increase a little bit more, meaning their prefrontal cortex starts to grow, starts to develop. And during all these phases from 0 to 12, or let's say 13, right? One of the things that is constant is the brain is constantly growing.
Mm.
But there's one part of the brain that actually uh, grows faster than other parts. It's called the amygdala.
Mm.
Okay, and the amygdala is this part of the brain. Well, we're getting into really boring theory part, but I think it's also important. And this amygdala, what it does is, um, it's where all human emotions and feelings sit.
Mm.
That's the source of it,
Mm.
basically. And this part of the amygdala is about 60% of the brain.
Mm.
So I also just want to ask you a question. If you know, you know, right? How big is the prefrontal cortex?
Oh, I don't know, like 20%,
Lower,
17%.
much lower. Divide it by 2.
Oh, really?
So, um, to have a good gauge, right? If you pull up 3 fingers like that, okay,
Hmm.
and then you half that 3 fingers, and that is how big your prefrontal cortex is.
Right. And this prefrontal cortex is the one that helps us with making all decisions.
This prefrontal cortex helps in terms of making decisions, controlling emotions,
Mm.
making choices, and even what do you call it? Having discussions just like this.
So this small little portion is actually helping to hold and control the other 60%.
Yeah, and then you ask, then the rest of the percentage do what? Oh, the rest of the percentage does daily functioning things that we don't notice,
Okay.
like we're moving our fingers,
Mm.
sending signals to the heart to do this,
Yeah.
sending signals to the nerves to do that,
Yeah.
and that's what the brain does, right? And there's a lot of like I call it like the shadow brain, meaning like it's there. Um, we are functioning because that part is just working seamlessly,
Right.
right? But then this amygdala, the seat of the emotions or feelings, is the one that is more developed.
Mm.
So now every time when I see a meltdown, I don't see the behavior of the child. I What do I actually mean by this? I actually see the amygdala firing, and the
Mm.
prefrontal cortex is
Mm.
slow down,
Yeah.
wait for me,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Right. Right.
So it's like almost in a race, right?
Right.
And then you're going to like 100-meter race, and then the amygdala is just zoom,
Yeah.
and then the prefrontal cortex is like, it's there,
It's trying. It's
it's
trying its
trying,
best.
it's trying its best.
Yeah.
And at times when children have complete meltdowns, like they're on the floor, they're rolling, and when that actually happens, um, it's actually the amygdala taking over. It's just overwhelming the brain with all
Mm.
these emotions, all these feelings, and the prefrontal cortex is struggling to just keep it in check.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is okay. And this is after from our primary school onwards.
No, at any age.
So the amygdala, okay, so amygdala is there. It's
Yeah.
always developing
Yes.
since birth.
Yes, correct.
Okay. And then up till primary school, that's when our prefrontal cortex starts to develop
The
properly.
prefrontal cortex has always been working.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been growing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that it takes like 3% trying to control 60%
Mm.
is quite an insurmountable task.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I gotta ask you this question because I do get questions from parents quite a bit
Mm.
sometimes, and these parents are like parents of teenagers.
Definitely.
Pray do tell, what's actually going on in the teenager's mind?
Wow.
So we spoke up till primary
13,
school, yeah,
12,
till
13 years old.
13.
Yeah.
So from 13 up till, should we break it down then? From 13 to 17, and then 17 to like 21, 22, 23.
Wow. Have you seen a teenager always very angsty?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know a few.
By when you say a few hours, are you also referring to yourself?
What? I would never. I would never
Okay,
rage
but
against the machine. No, but
okay,
yes,
but
please.
it's okay. But denial is the first step towards acceptance, right? So, on top of brain development, right? What's also happening is that the body is also still developing. So ages 13 to 17 is when for males the body produces testosterone,
Okay.
right? And then for females the body also produces estrogen. And put this together with the developing brain that is still growing and the amygdala is still is more developed than the prefrontal cortex, right? And then plus in raging hormones,
Right.
yeah, it is actually a recipe for disaster. And I'm sure parents of teenagers know this that sometimes when they ask their children to do things like no, don't want, no mood,
Mm,
and it gets a bit, no, not doesn't get a bit, it gets a lot annoying.
mm,
And then parents also struggle to actually relate to their teenagers because that it's just at that age with this the hormones, with the brain developing, the amygdala is more developed than the prefrontal cortex. It's a lot now, but I'm seeing it from a perspective of biological growth,
mm,
but from the biological lens,
mm.
right? How does that actually now make sense? So it makes sense like this. If if you ever have an argument with your child,
Mm.
stop and ask yourself, what part of the brain am I talking to?
Mm.
So if you see now a 7-year-old having a meltdown or a 5-year-old having a meltdown, what part of the brain is happening is overwhelming the whole sense of being right now,
Mm.
right? And then we move on a little bit to a 9-year-old who is stressed with maybe with stress with the exams, because it's the first time that I'm making
Yeah.
exams. I'm stressed and they're not coping well. And sometimes they cry, or sometimes they're like, they experience low moods, or they just don't want to do things.
Mm.
Which part of the brain is overwhelming the whole sense of being, right?
Mm.
And then we move on to like teenagers,
Yeah.
right? And then like teenagers, teenagers have, it's like the wind, if the wind blows cold, they're very cold. If the wind blows hot, they're like, hey, what's going on? But we're not. But then again, I'm not a weatherman. I can't forecast the weather. It's still the same thing. How do you then relate, or how do you then talk, or communicate to the brain to get them to comply to you? Yeah,
It's quite interesting.
yeah.
I think what you just said is quite interesting. How do you talk to that part of the brain to then get them to communicate with you? And I guess that's also why it's very important
Mm.
for parents to understand the development of a child's brain,
Yep.
because at different stages you will have to learn how to communicate differently.
Mm.
And I do know of like parents, and I say parents, I mean from different ages, from maybe like parents who are to like 2 year olds, parents to like raging teenagers. So I guess these are tools that could definitely help them in how they want to communicate, how they want to talk, as opposed to sometimes parents coming up to me and like, I don't know how to talk to my child.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, yeah, I guess that's really important as well. And we don't learn this in school, you see.
You.
Yeah.
Who, the parents?
Yeah. There's no school
There's no
for
school
the,
for parenting.
yeah. There is really no school for
There's no school
parenting.
for parenting.
Yeah.
Maybe not anymore.
We're like, oh, whoa, wait, what? Whoa, wait, what? Did we just
Just a
start?
thought. Just a thought. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But so now how do you then? So now in a situation whereby it's escalated, right?
Yeah.
What do you do? How do you respond? What is a very typical way to respond to a child that is having a meltdown? Let's say a 6 or 7-year-old child having a meltdown. What's the one that you see all the time?
Okay. I'll tell you what I've seen, like the worst case scenarios, and I'll tell you what I've applied before,
Okay.
and what works and what doesn't work. So what I've seen is a child on an MRT, on the rare occasions that I actually take the MRT. I know, yeah. Where a child is screaming and the parents just screaming back at the child. Uh, and it, just like what you said, it is escalation, and it doesn't get any better. In fact, the whole entire ride and the whole journey, I'm constantly reminding myself this is why I don't do public transport. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't take the bus though, but yeah, so it's a complete screaming match between the mom and the child, and then after the mom is triggered and the child is triggered even further, and then the father doesn't know what to do, and then the father shouts at the child, and it's just a complete wow.
Did this appear on Storm or something like that?
No, I think it just appeared in like everyone's minds, in their faces that were in the same carriage as me. But yes, this was quite a while back as well. So I've seen that happen. Now what I've tried before with my friend's daughter was that we were in a shopping. Well, we were shopping for clothes. And she wanted to go do something, but she could. We were trying to. She really wanted it now, but there was no way that was going to happen. So I remember squatting down and talking to her. And for me, I'm a strong believer of explaining the why first. As long as someone understands the why, then they have the ability to make sense of things further as to why these actions are going to happen. So I explained to her, we cannot do this now because blank. And if we do this now, blank. But, and then I'll offer the solution. But this is what we can do after blank. And then I let her calm down a little bit first.
Yeah.
And then after that, she was like, yeah, totally on board. Like, yeah, she went on. So, but then again, she's a very special child. So I don't know if that will kind of be applicable to the rest of the children as well.
Wow. I think when you talk about someone with special needs, okay. Maybe you could get a special needs educator to come.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
And to
be
share a
fantastic.
little bit more about this.
Yeah.
But what I want to point out with you is that how you actually communicate with the child. You didn't just communicate with the child. You actually communicated to the child's brain, that child's emotive brain at that point of time.
Right.
So what really helped is actually to call out that feeling that child is experiencing.
Right.
I'll give you an example. We go back to the example that you gave on the train.
Yeah.
What was the child going through? What was the emotions that the child was going through?
Everything.
From
everything at once. Anger, sadness, frustration, annoyance. Everything red. Yeah.
Okay, so everything is red, right?
Yeah.
And then what was the emotions of the mom?
Anger, even more. But I'm pretty sure.
Embarrassment.
Yeah, embarrassment as well. Guilt, most likely.
Yeah.
And then that was a projection because she doesn't know where it's supposed to go, and then she'll pour on even more on the kid. So
Correct.
she was even more angry.
Yeah.
Frustration. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure there was frustration towards maybe her partner as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she probably doesn't feel supported.
Yeah.
So one of the things was this, right? So if you match angry with angry, what do you think is going to happen?
Get double angry.
Yeah, correct?
Double angry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in many chapters of the book, I wrote about tone, timing, temperature.
Right.
So I think if I'm not mistaken, in chapter 1, I did tease it a little bit. What is tone, timing, and temperature?
Yeah.
So you look at that situation in the train. What was the timing like?
Tense.
Tense?
Yeah.
It's probably the wrong time.
Yeah. Wrong time to escalate anything at all.
Correct.
Yeah. The amount of people that were there as well.
And then what about the tone of the voice of the mom?
Woohoo! 100.
Yeah. So the tone was high too, right?
Yeah.
So when I speak about tone, timing, temperature, Let me break it down a little bit more. Tone of your voice, timing of your request or instruction will determine the temperature of the situation.
Right.
So the tone determines the response that you get from the child. Because when the brain is receiving, I wouldn't say receiving, when the brain gets a message that is where the tone is heightened, the emotionality of the tone is high or heightened, the brain goes into a fight or
Yeah.
flight response.
Right.
Right? No, not response, fight or flight reaction.
Right.
So what you saw on the train was a fight.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So on the flip side, if it's a flight response, the child will be crying, sulking, or just like ignoring you.
Right.
So that's a flight response.
Right.
Right? So every time when the brain experiences or senses a threat, if you experience a threat, what do you do?
Well, it depends on what kind of threat.
Uh,
Yeah. I got my friend told me to never go to USS on Halloween Horror Nights because she was the stage manager. Because she's afraid that I will like kick the people. So I was
so
never
that's a
allowed.
fight response.
Right.
And can you control this response?
With a lot of work.
You can't. It's not even a response, it's a reaction.
Yeah.
It's your body's instinct.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
And this is something that is a reaction. So which means that and then now you are a fully grown adult.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
Just
imagine a child.
imagine a child.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have a fully functional developing brain.
Yeah.
With a fully functional prefrontal cortex.
Yeah.
And you still struggle with reactions.
Yeah.
Right? Fight or flight reactions. What about a 7-year-old child?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then the parents will always ask me this, but Taufik, I need to make sure that, she behaves like, doesn't embarrass us. So now, are social norms part of brain development?
I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a clash there, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
What are societal norms versus
Your child's brain development, because now then we come to a point again where every child's brain develops differently at different pace. Right? So when that actually happens, we actually need to just bring our tone down a little bit. And sometimes the timing is not right. In the train, there cannot be a good timing at all.
Oh yeah.
But what we can control is we can control the tone of our voice, call out the emotion to de-escalate the situation. So it may sound like this. I see that you're angry right now. I need you to cool down. Then I can really hear what you want. And then just stop.
Oh, okay. And if the child continues to scream
Because now we have called out the emotions. We have identified the emotions. You are angry right now. I need you to calm down.
And if the child continues to scream and create the child's own, like, I don't know.
Well, if
Protest.
if silent like protest,
Yeah.
that's a very interesting story that I had in the UK. So I'll share it later.
Okay.
So in that situation, right, it's really up to you. Is what is your tolerance level?
Right.
How I would have dealt with that situation is that I'll just like slow down my tone, and I will speak calmly and speak and identify the emotions that's going through, and then to really call out the emotions so that I relate and I communicate to the emotional brain.
Right. Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. It does. And also to give some space as well for the child to then what do you call that? Fully accept what is being told to them and
Correct.
process their own.
What would also help is that if, let's say, the partner or the husband was there or daddy was there, daddy could have done this okay, could have done this differently. But of course, on hindsight, everything is better, right?
Yeah.
So the husband's like, okay, mommy, you are upset. Let me handle this.
Mm.
And then dad tries to de-escalate the situation.
Mm.
Look, you are upset. I need to calm down. Okay, let's do breathing exercises together. Ready? And then you just do, I call it the pyramid breathing or triangle breathing.
Right.
So breathe in for 3 seconds, hold your breath for 3 seconds, and exhale. And you have to do it together. Yeah, it might look a little bit silly, but what you're doing is you're doing emotional regulation.
Right.
Yeah. And you know why? And you know why? Like when people, when children cry, they
Because they can't get enough. Like,
yeah,
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 it's true. It's true. It
it's
sounds
true.
crazy, but it's true.
Do you know every time when you cry, it's actually like a long breath of exhale, you know?
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, it's like some people who cry so hard, they're like, after that they're like dizzy.
they start, yeah. And then they start choking, and then like,
Yeah.
And it's actually your body's is actually a biological response
Right.
to lack of oxygen.
Right.
And also loss of water lah. Because the tears
Yeah.
is
Dehydration.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it is very interesting. Yeah.
So you actually need to identify the emotion.
Yeah.
Identify, call it out. Then you're relating to the emotional brain.
Right.
And the tone, it must be calm. Of course, parents always say, "Ayah, Taufik, of course you can say this now lah," because like you're not experiencing it, right? Say, yeah, I'm not, and you're right, but what do you want to do? Do you want to de-escalate the situation, or do you want to escalate the situation until it's beyond your control? Because sometimes this is it, and because like sometimes when parents like they shout already, right? Because like let's say I'll give you an example, the child just wants the iPad or the phone, and then it comes to a point of time where because you don't want to escalate the whole thing until it becomes so embarrassing for you. You come out on Storm, you come out on Complain Singapore, you come out on like on Facebook or any forms of social media. You just give in and you give the phone. But what happens next is this, that the child then learns that if I want to get the phone, I'm going to cry, I'm going to throw a bigger tantrum, and this is not the child's fault. This is not the child's fault because like to get what I want, I will do this. If I do this, mommy and daddy gives me, means I get what I want. Right?
Yeah.
So the next time when this happens, he's going to cry just as loud or even more intense just to get what they want.
Yeah, that really.
How does that sit with you?
That is just what you just described to me about a parent trying to peel the child away from the iPad or peel the iPad away from the child. That is a scene that I have seen too many times here. Yeah, too many times where dinner time iPad, outside iPad, with friends iPad.
Yeah.
Then there's the term in it that we coin it the iPad kid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've seen that too many times. And then the parents trying to peel the iPad away from the kid just like screaming at the top of their lungs.
And then now we move on to like just now we talk about young children, right?
Yeah.
Now we now we have the issue about teenagers.
Yeah.
What are constant things that you see in teenagers, the emotions or like what's going on in teenagers. You're laughing because something is going on.
I'm laughing because I work with teenagers and I love them so much because they are so unhinged.
Unhinged.
Unhinged, I tell you, and I love them to death, but
yeah,
I look at them and I'm like, what are y'all doing? Yeah. So apart from the happy and like wild side that they unleash when they're in like when we're doing theater together, or when I'm teaching them how to apply skills to create like sensory shows for children on the spectrum, apart from all that, I know that there is this undertone. Because
what is this undertone that you're seeing?
Yeah, of frustration? Of worry, of anxiety.
Frustration, worry, anxiety.
Yeah, and
And you know what's their number one superpower of people who are frustrated, who are anxious, and what is it? Frustrated, anxious, and
Frustrated, anxious, angry.
angry.
Yeah.
Do you know what's their superpower?
What?
They're overthinkers.
Yeah, they are. They
Yeah.
absolutely are.
Yeah.
And I tell you what's scary though.
Mm.
I see an increasing trend
Mm.
of like I see an increasing trend of people who are not therapists,
Yeah.
but they will go on social media, they'll create some post using AI, and then you have a bunch of like teenagers who are self-diagnosing themselves. And not just teenagers, there are adults who self-diagnose themselves as well. And that really, no, that truly worries me because
Yeah.
the amount of people that come to me, they're like, oh, hey, I think I have this mental condition. And I'm like, hold on.
Who
How
say?
did you? I cannot say. I don't want to drop names.
How
I
you
can,
confirm?
yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
how did y'all even come up with this?
Mm.
That having traits of something doesn't necessarily mean that you are fully there. There are so many reasons as to why you would have black or white thinking.
Yes.
Okay. And black or white thinking doesn't necessarily mean like boom, this is what you have.
Mm.
You wanna know? Please go get yourself like diagnosed
Mm.
from a professional. Don't go online and chat
Well,
GPT this.
we know a person to help you with this, right?
Definitely, yes we do. Yes we do.
I think a lot of these emotions that teenagers feel, right,
Yeah.
and a lot of parents when they actually like share with me is that they struggle to communicate
Right.
to their teenager.
Right.
Then my question to the parents is that how are you communicating to the teenagers?
Mm.
And most of the time, parents with especially teenagers, this is how I define it. Okay, if I tell you one time, it's an instruction.
Mm.
If I tell you two times, it's a reminder.
Mm.
If I tell you three times, it's a
Warning.
no, it's nagging,
Ooh.
right?
Yeah.
And then teenagers' response is always this. And if you look at these three forms of reminders, or
Yeah.
instruction giving,
Yeah.
first one is instruction,
Yeah.
so sometimes it can be very firm,
Yeah.
right? Second one, reminder.
Yeah.
Now the firm has sometimes escalate,
Mm.
and then nagging.
Mm.
Nagging most of the time sounds very
Very like petty, very like
like repeated,
yeah.
negative.
Yeah.
Always like, why is my mom always picking on me? Why is my
Yeah.
dad always picking on me?
Yeah, that's most probably how they receive it as well too.
And just imagine, now we go back to the adolescent brain development.
Okay.
Bring yourself again now to like visualize that you're a 14-year-old and I'm nagging at you.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. Gloria, how many times should I tell you to hang your towel after you shower? This is not the first time I'm telling you today. This is the second morning I told you 3 times. Afternoon I told you 4 times.
Yeah.
And then now it's dinner already. I already counted about 10 times already I tell you.
Yeah.
How does that tone sound?
Oh, I just want to shut off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just really want to shut off.
So
It's so
now-
funny to like revisit.
Yeah,
this
to
again.
revisit this.
Yeah, I think that's something y'all should try as well. Like,
Yeah.
imagine your 14-year-old self hearing that, hearing yourself.
Yeah. And we go back again to the how's my tone like just now?
Mm.
How's my tone like?
It was very well. It's firm,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it doesn't have the most positive like
Mm.
tone to it.
Correct. But at the same time also, right, what happens is that the tone was very aggressive.
Mm.
I wouldn't say very, it was aggressive lah.
Mm.
Right? And immediately after the fourth reminder I told you, I'm pretty sure your brain just goes like,
Yeah, ying.
It's
Shut
like-
off, ying.
and then you will tell me whatever I want to hear. And sometimes the response, okay lah, I'll do it lah.
Yeah.
Or that's actually a positive response, huh? A negative response could be like, yeah lah, I'll do lah.
Mm.
And then just imagine if your child raises his or her voice at you like that.
Mm.
As a parent, what is your immediate reaction?
Ooh.
And sometimes it sounds like, why you so rude?
Yeah, correct.
Why you no manners? Why you talk
Yeah.
to me like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's when the struggle really happens.
Yeah.
Because now, what's happening is that as the parent, we are triggering the adolescent brain to fight back, flight or fight response, huh?
Yeah.
And then now their response, because of a heightened tone at the same time,
Yeah.
is triggering our brain to fight back. And then it just gets in this loop. You shout, and then mom shouts louder, and then child shouts louder, and then dad shouts louder, and then both of you get sucked into this emotional black hole that you can't get out of.
Yeah.
And this is going to be how you communicate with each other. And this is going to be your way of home is going to look like, how home is going to sound like. And nobody likes to go back home to a home with high conflict.
I can really see that like contributing to like the breakdown of a family unit and nucleus, and then that leading into like misunderstandings and then lack of communication because people then don't want to like talk further.
And this is not, it doesn't just happen one time.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, I don't want to talk to my mom, I don't want to talk to my dad because every time I talk to her, they'll shout at me. Remember, like in our previous episode, we talked about the thermometer and the thermostat.
Yeah.
Our child, our teenager, our children are thermometers.
We are the thermostat.
We are the thermostat. We are the ones that control the temperature. Remember, tone, timing, temperature. How we control the temperature is by our tone of our voice, which actually we respond or we talk to the developing brain at that point of time. Our tone needs to be calm. Our tone needs to be I wouldn't say soft. It has to be, if it has to be firm, it has to be firm. And the only time where if you only have to raise your voice is when there's a safety issue.
Right.
That's the only time. Right? And then we need to choose the timing, because you also need to make sure that the timing is right. If our child is doing something that's enjoyable to them and we want them to stop and we don't give enough time, right? Or we choose the wrong time, wrong timing, wrong tone, temperature be high.
You know what this kind of sounds like to me? It kind of sounds like boundary setting. A little bit. Like you have to choose the tone and you have to choose the like when the timing as well.
In a way, it does relate to that also.
Right.
Because then, like when we talk about boundary setting, we also talk a little bit of ground rules also.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. But I guess that also falls into like the whole huge umbrella of boundary setting as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe we can talk about that in our second episode as well.
Yeah.
Boundary set. Oh, we could split that up. Oh, it's gonna be a long ride.
Yeah.
I love talking about that. Yeah.
I don't think it's second episode. The following episode, you mean?
Oh, sorry, the following episode. The second chapter. Yes. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. So let's talk about that in our second chapter. For boundary setting. Thank you so much for sharing with us, and especially, and I hope this really helps the parents out there as to understanding the child's developmental brain is very very important. Now you can always get our book, Guidebook to Avoiding Parenting Pitfalls. The links are all everywhere. If you need
on our Instagram.
Our Instagram. If you need anything, always feel free to DM us, reach out to us, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Once again, thank you so much for watching and listening to the Heart and Home podcast. See you.
See you guys.
Bye.